Welcome back to Razmafsar TV. Today, I'm going to talk about an important topic. I'm going to talk about a comparison of virtue ethics, Bushido, Japanese Bushido, and Persian Javanmardi, similarities and differences. Virtue ethics basically is based on different philosophical thoughts from the West, mostly on Aristotle, ancient Greece philosopher, or a philosopher from the ancient Greece. Bushido, there are different versions of Bushido, but I'm going to stick to one, and Javanmardi. Similarly, there are different interpretations of Javanmardi, and I'm going to use one which is based mostly on Kashfiya Sabzevari. In my book, Arms and Armor from Iran, and as well, Persian Archery and Swordsmanship, I've extensively talked about Javanmardi. And I teach virtue ethics as part of ethical leadership and CSR and business ethics, which I teach at different universities here in Frankfurt, in Germany. And Bushido is what I really grew up with because of Karate Kyokushin and Japanese martial arts, where I am an instructor, certified instructor. Virtue ethics, after decades or centuries of discussing about consequentialism and principle-based ethics, I'm going to make a separate video on them. Principle-based ethics, which means mostly based on Kant, German philosopher Kant. If I want to make a decision, first of all, I shouldn't think about the consequences, but should think about there are certain principles which cannot be violated. For example, like human rights, they're based on principles, or deontology is also called. And consequentialism, and another version of it, a smaller version of it, is utilitarianism, is based on bringing utility to the majority of people, or creating happiness. You cannot do it for everyone, but for the majority of people. So they have ethical consequences in business or in CSR, or also in everyday life. But later on, I will make a video on them if you wish. But let us go to virtue ethics, which was discovered later. And what does virtue ethics mean? Virtue ethics mean that we are going now to go back to ancient Greece, use Aristotle, and to say, in order to be a good human being, in order to be an ethical agent, I am going to do virtuous acts and try to avoid vices or vicious acts. So if you want to take the Chinese version, there is a constant battle between yin and yang, and I'm going to make sure that every day of my life, I'm going to do virtuous acts or virtues and avoid doing vicious acts or vices. Aristotle divides the virtues into two categories, the mind virtues and the character virtues. According to him, mind virtues include knowledge, episteme, understanding, nous, wisdom, sophia, art, techne, and prudence, phronesis. Aristotle thinks, and in his opinion, these are the highest virtues as they arise or they stem directly from the specific human ability, meaning sanity. But a human is not only capable of sanity, according to him, a human, she or he has emotions, desires, and needs. They cannot be separated from her or from him and her life. Within them, however, there is a danger of misbehaving. Then Aristotle also talks about that there is a deficiency or an excess of emotions. It is therefore virtuous to take the middle course between these two extremes. In this respect, the virtues of character come up or are the result of the reasonable consideration and regulation of human emotions. In his work, Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle defines a series of character virtues. He talks about courage, in the face of fear, showing courage, temperance, in the face of pleasure and pain, liberality, with wealth and possessions, magnanimity with great honors, magnificence with great wealth and possessions, proper ambitions with normal honors, modesty in the face of shame, and wittiness in conversation, friendliness in social conduct and behavior, truthfulness with self-expression, and above all, justice, which according to him is the most important virtue. So you need to practice that. For example, you shouldn't be so, sticking to the possessions, right? You need to show liberality. You need to show be generous and generosity. So these things help you to become a better human being and a virtuous agent. When we go to Japanese Bushido, which was the way of Bushi or warrior in Japan, the so-called samurai, it is based on 8. Sometimes some people say 7, but I'm going to describe, but mostly there are 8. One of them is Ji or justice, which is a core value for any warrior. Constant reflection of fairness, be accountable with regard to moral character, and you need to show full commitment to decisions. Then you go to courage. You do what is right, irrespective of fear. Work out what is right and wrong, be intelligent and strong. Courage, you need to show, for example, when we talk in whistleblowing as part of CSR, that you need to show courage, and courage is extremely important. Compassion, Jen, the ability to demonstrate sympathy and patience, looking at issues from another person's perspective, and that's important, especially in intercultural encounters and management. We always say, get rid of your cultural lens, for example. Compassion as well, part of it, show sympathy, patience. Respect, Ray, the experience to acknowledge others and their experiences and feelings. Be able to work with them or other people, showing common courtesy and politeness. A bushi or a samurai is always courteous and polite. Then integrity or honesty, makoto, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. And you provide, and he or she provides purpose to the other principles for the warrior. This integrity does, makoto does. And living in line with honesty and sincerity. Honor, mayo, a warrior's moral or morality compass, the quality of knowing and doing what is morally right and having the self-worth to live by this code of behavior every day. Honor, very important, moral compass. Loyalty, chugi, the outcome from the other principles, with the challenge being to stay on the path, irrespective of what kind of challenge you're going to face, and keep your word. Self-control or jisei. Self-control is not included in every listing of the Bushido code. Do what is right no matter what the circumstances, when with others, and when alone. Very interesting. Now we go, based on Kashifia Sabzawari, Ayaran and other sources. Ayaran, the warriors in Iran, which this Javanmardi, as my colleague Dr. Zakari says and proves, come from Sasanian period. Defined or classified, people, now in Persian Javanmardi, into nomad. They are nomad. These people do not respect others and reciprocate even the good deeds of other people with vicious actions. Remember this viciousness in Aristotle? Ayarans view these people as the worst type of people. You show goodness, they show bad things to you. Then they are mad. These people do not volunteer to perform good deeds, but if someone treats them well, they respond with kindness. Then we have Javanmardi. These people volunteer to perform good deeds, and if someone mistreats them, they're able to show forgiveness. They forgive him or them. But if he mistreats them again, they will punish him severely. Their duties involve helping oppressed people and fighting for the oppressors. They even rob the rich oppressors to help the poor people. Now, this Javanmardi again comes back to the code. First one is Javanmardi. I explain it to you. So basically, Javanmardi is a general term. Then part of it is also a specific term of Javanmardi. Then Rasti, honesty. Ayaran had to be honest and tell the truth at all times. This principle is one of the most important one among them. They were not allowed to reveal the secret of someone under the name of righteousness. We need to take this into consideration because this is going to violate Satori, which is the next. Satori also very important, which is secrecy. Satori or Parde Pushi is one of the principles of Persian warriors, and it means that Ayyaran had to keep secrets. However, it does not mean that they had to do it all the time, which makes it relevant for us in whistleblowing processes, for example, against injustice. More of that, magnanimity, generosity. Ayyaran had to be magnanimous and generous towards their friends and enemies. So Imanadari safekeeping, this was not restricted only to material goods, but also to keeping secrets as well. So number 5. Then we go to number 6, Wafa be'ahd, keeping promises. After making a promise, Ayyaran tried their best to keep it. So let me just go back. Morovat or magnanimity or generosity. Ayyaran had to be magnanimous and generous towards their friends and enemies. Then Imanadari, safekeeping. This was not restricted to material goods, but also to keeping secrets as well. Then we go to Wafa be'ahd, and in this Wafa be'ahd means keeping promises. This is extremely important. After they make a promise, Ayyaran tried their best to keep it. Breaking a promise was considered a great sin, and if an Ayyar broke it, he was branded on his upper lip so that he could not grow a mustache. You see? So it was, thus everyone knew that he did not belong to the ranks of Ayyaran and was an outcast. A very important thing is Haqq Namak. Haqq Namak is the right translation of the host to gratitude, literally the right to solve. This was also one of the most important principles of them. Therefore, warriors, Ayyaran, did not eat with people they did not know. In today Persian, we say, "Ma namak ham digar ro khordim." We had eaten each other's salt. Namak giram, I owe you the salt. And this is in today's Persian also people use this. If they did, they considered that this made them namak gir, as I mentioned it. It's really owing salt to someone, meaning that as they shared food, salt with those people, they were indebted to them. No matter what kind of bad action the person did to them, they did not take revenge. Swearing on salt was one of the most significant oaths among Ayyaran, based on Ashtari Tafreshi. Now we come back here. You see that I put this Aristotle here, and I put Bushido here, and I put Javanmardi. You cannot find complete overlapping. I tried to put them a bit here. For example, if you see that honor is here, justice is here with Javanmardi, and justice is again here. And some of them can have, for example, loyalty or Haqq Namak can have interlapping. Here, temperance with self-control, things like that. We can come and try to find. Or courage, you see here we have courage, and courage, your understanding, maybe it could be compassion and things like that. I'm not making like comparisons like that, or it's not actually necessary like this, but to give you an example that these models, these 3 models, can be used as one model integrated to have different virtues at the same time. This was only the beginning. I just need to say this to you. Virtue ethics is gaining more and more importance in ethical leadership, because we just say it's not enough to rely on principles and on consequentialism. It is important to work on yourself as a human being. Bushido helps the warriors back then, and Javanmardi as well. Important is that these are noble things. Please just don't do only a lip service to them, and try to live by these virtues, by these things, which we can see it here. I will continue on Javanmardi if you wish, because I can expand on this topic if you wish later on. For now, I say goodbye to you and thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel, like, and ring the bell. I wish you a nice day.